My name is Ann Gettings. I am a real estate agent with Landon Realty Group. And I absolutely love being part of Landon Realty Group. Ivan, do you want to go?
Yeah, I am too a real estate agent with Landon Realty Group. I have been a realtor for quite some time now. I think since the end of 2019, and then like a full on year of 2020 during COVID. And yeah, that's who I am.
Yay! Is Nancy. And
Nancy is still struggling, so we're just gonna move on.
okay, so I will tell you, Nancy Castillo Gonzalez is another agent that will be presenting, I think, if she can become unfrozen. She's been an agent, I think, for a couple of years with Landon Realty Group.
I'm here.
Hey, can you introduce yourself, madam?
Oh my goodness, that was my technology is something else.
Don't joke with technology, Francesca told me.
Seriously, I'm Nancy Gonzalez, and I am with Landon Realty Group. Been doing this for a couple years now, and I love what I do, as many of us do. But it is a tough job that we're going to be talking to you guys about.
First of all, we just want to start off by saying that in today's podcast, we will be going over a few common misconceptions about real estate agents and as well as their job duties.
And for those of you that aren't up to date with the current lingo, fact or cap meaning that's a lie or false, just want to throw that out there for those of you that say cap. What do they mean cap? Because I didn't know what cap meant until my niece one time told me. She's like, "Oh, uncle, you're capping." I'm like, "Capping?" I'm like, "What do you mean capping?" She's like, "You're not telling necessarily the truth." And I'm like, "What the capping?" Okay, so just wanted to throw that out there. I didn't know what the word cap meant.
Well, thank you for clarifying that. And with that said, we just want to say that this presentation was put together by our young receptionist,
the youth at Landon Realty.
The youth. So that's why it's myth or cap. So thank you for keeping us youthful here, Nicolette, because I didn't know either, Ivan.
Yeah, super cool.
Go ahead.
Okay, the first myth that we want to address is that real estate agents only open doors and cash checks. Nancy, Ivan, what do you think about that?
Truth. Isn't that what we do?
And it's easy.
I wish it was that easy.
I myself have to, obviously it's myth. Now, one of the things that we're bringing up is, a lot of people always tell me, God, your job, you must love it so much. Like you go show pretty houses, you come back home.
All you do.
Yeah. That's all I do. Go show pretty houses. You come back home and wow, a day's work. And I just I just sit there and I'm like, no, that's not, no, I wish, no, everybody would be a realtor. So just a lot of the things that go into that is, number one, as a realtor, you do have to get to know your client. You get to know your client depending on what you do with your client, not what you do, what you talk about with your client, and all their needs and wants in regards to real estate. Your job after that is to go search for the perfect home. Now, anybody can show them 30 homes. I mean, websites like Zillow and Redfin and all that show so many houses that they themselves can search and find for. But we also network. We know people that come out and, tell us, hey, I got these properties coming in. We go to bat for our clients. We call everybody we know. We search specific. There are certain parameters. I know clients that are like, if I'm not in this school system, I don't want to see any house. So which one do you want to see? So no, I wish I could. And then by the time you open the door, you've already put in so much work, right, guys?
Right. But another thing that I think people miss out that, they just think we open doors, is we really don't. Our broker Jen, who always says, is a big advocate of this, is we're basically their attorneys. They're in the state of California. It's not a very common practice where an attorney just handles your transaction. It's your realtor, guys. So who you pick really matters. Like, the realtor needs to understand all 16 pages of the contract, I don't know, I think a total of 100 pages worth of disclosures, dates, timelines. So no, we just don't open doors and cash checks. I mean, like Nancy said earlier, if it was that easy, all the realtors that get their licenses would be successful. And this is not to put anyone down, but there are a lot of realtors that do fall off because it's not as easy as they once thought, because they thought it was fact and not a cap.
Well, also it was opening doors and cashing checks, and those are really fun parts of our job.
Right.
They are really fun parts, but but it's not our only job. So with that said, just keep it in mind that if real estate is going to be your choice of career, you have to love talking to people and getting to know their wants and needs, because what you're doing is, not to sound cheesy, but here goes Nancy and her cheesiness, y'all know that we're actually like little matchmakers. So you have to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
And not only that, but I think one of the things too that people don't get about opening doors is it's not you just walk up to the door and open it. Like, there's a whole process that goes to opening the door. And this is what they don't tell you. Sometimes for those that are going to become an agent, there's something called the MLS, where we get all the information regarding the steps that you need to take prior to you even opening the door for your client, whether the house is vacant, whether the sellers are willing to let you go in that day. And with COVID, there were so many other minor rules that had to be acknowledged and put in place in order just to show one house. Scheduling was one of them. For those that are going to join real estate, there's you just don't get a key from the tree and open it. There's lock boxes, and sometimes those lock boxes fail, or sometimes for whatever reason the agent does not have a super box that functions or a combo code box that functions, and you look like a fool because your clients now think, oh, he just all he had to do was open the door, and you felt that you had one job, Nancy.
Yes.
You had one job, Ivan. But
Exactly.
It's not as easy as just going to the door and opening it.
Well, as a mom and a realtor, I can tell you there's only been 2 situations where I've sweated and been super nervous. One is when my kid's in the bathroom and is threatening to open the stall while people are waiting in line. And I'm like, don't open it. I have to finish. Do not open it. And number 2 is when you have your buyers staring at you directly and you're trying to get that lockbox open.
And then you start feeling the sweat run down, like
yes.
your chest a little bit, your armpits start getting a little moist. You're like, oh my God, I'm hyperventilating.
Exactly. So
Yep.
I get it. All right, let's go to the next slide.
The next myth is that agents are always eating out with clients.
And do you want to take that one?
Well, I think it sounds very glamorous. Nancy?
It is, one of the job, it comes with the job, it comes with the territory. I think you get to know different restaurants, different cities, different, ambiances, and it is great, but you have to know that as a realtor, you have to commit yourself to your schedule. You are tied to your schedule. You are tied to, there's always every day. You are a small business owner. There's always something that you could be doing. As my husband would say, you don't have time. There's always something you could be doing. Yes, there's always something I could be doing to grow my business. And one of those is going out there and having lunch. Now, why do we have lunch? Number 1, some clients are better in person, right? Some clients want to see you in person. They want to get to know you. Or other times it's your networking. You're talking to other people in other neighborhoods. You know, you're talking to your title rep. You're talking to your loan officers. You're getting to know what programs are out there. In a way, it's a sense, in a way for us to educate ourselves and get to know other people in the business better as well.
Well, and we get to meet with our clients and to know them better through lunches.
Yeah. Keep in mind though, for all you newer real estate agents, it's a common practice that you are the one paying for these dinners. So be mindful of where you take them, or also your client, because sometimes you have to kind of know your client kind of a little bit more prior to that little meeting. Because what if you take them to, I don't know, a Chinese food restaurant and they're like totally against Chinese food? So it's kind of like pick the neutral ones, you know, just the ones that have a little bit of everything. But like Ann and Nancy said, it is the best way to really get to know your clients, and you get to know them in an intimate level as well. What do you say, Ann?
Yeah, that's what I like about it. That's my favorite part, you know, about the luncheon.
I think Ivan, you made a good point, but I actually have not gotten anybody that doesn't like a certain type of food. For me, it's been like, let's go get some wine. Oh, I don't drink. And I'm like, oh, that's been that. So just be mindful of people. That's the point. That's the point we're trying to make. Next slide.
That the next myth is that agents charge up front like Redfin.
I'll talk on that one. This is by no means bashing any Redfin agent. I believe, you know, they have great agents. This is just pointing out something in their corporate or brokerage structure that, to me, I think it's really unfair. When, for example, Redfin or any of those discount brokerages approach a client, yeah, they tell you, oh yeah, you know, we'll list your house for 1%, but it's only 1% if they get to represent you on a purchase within 12 months. Or sometimes that may not apply if your home isn't in a certain price point. So it's either 1 or 1.5. And aside from that, they do charge upfront fees, because people have to understand, agents that work for discount brokerages are not incentivized, like, for example, myself and or Nancy, that we have to hustle day and night, no matter how early or how late. We have to be banging that phone, making those calls, you know, stomping the concrete, making sure that we can provide the highest quality of service for our clients. Those agents, for example, in those discount brokerages, they get leads at 3 o'clock. So if, you know, they weren't as persistent or didn't show a high quality of service and you dump them, that's okay, because by tomorrow at 3 o'clock, they already have a new lead working. So they're not as incentivized because they have a salary and they have all these other things that may work for them. But in this market that we're in, you have to have an agent that's really out there, you know, grinding. And we don't charge for any of that. Like, if I go show a house, I'm not charging my client, hey, $50 because the gas prices are $6 a gallon now, boo boo. So we don't do that. Or, you know, all the expenses that, you know, we take up front, like, we don't charge for any of that. We don't take $1 for anything, no matter if it's a consultation that's 10 minutes, 2 hours. We don't charge anything until the very end, when we have earned our commission.
And Ivan's trust, because he obviously calls his clients boo-boo. So just saying.
So if somebody is a prospective real estate agent, that's what you need to know, is that if you're coming into this business, that you don't get paid until the end, after you've done all of the good work. That's exactly. When is different than Redfin.
And that should, you know, when you look back at your real estate career or just any job, I mean, there's not a job out there that pays you, that gives you your paycheck before you work.
Before you do the work. Right.
So why should real estate be any different? No, put in the work, earn your commission, earn the client's trust, do a good job for them, and then, you know, take your check and skip all the way to the bank because you have earned it. You have given that person the highest quality of service that you could. You didn't mislead them or, you know, ignore their phone calls because you're like, you know what, I can get another client at 3 o'clock tomorrow. So we don't charge for that, and that's one of the biggest things here that we advocate at Landon Realty Group is just high quality customer service and accessibility.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. I have really nothing to add. You guys did it. That's amazing.
Another myth is that agents will put their own interests above their clients.
You want to take it or you want it?
Well, so here's my little contribution to this is if you want to be a real estate agent, that especially at Landon Realty Group, you're not going to be very successful if that is your mission statement.
I agree. I agree too. So, you know, we are of the philosophy that here at LRGLA, we get to know the client. We want to know their needs. What is it that they want? And I can't say that enough because we're, like I said, matchmakers. Our goal is to find the right home for the family, and every family's needs are different. So when someone is excited about a home, we are just as excited. If you don't like the home, we don't like it either. We are on your team. We like and want what you want because we understand that your needs and wants, Ivan's family might not want the same house that my family will require. My family is probably not gonna like the house that Am's family is getting. So every family is different. And this is why we take the time to get to know our clients, really vouch for them, make the calls, make that extra effort to find you the right house, whether it's on or off market, whether it's perfect for my client. Are you thinking of selling? And maybe they're like, yeah, that's our job. We go the extra mile for our clients. So if you think, well, I want to do real estate because I want to be rich, and that's all you're thinking, this might not be the brokerage for you. And also this might not be the career, because long are those days. We really are in this business forever home, investment home. It's just really about their needs.
I agree. One thing I will add to that is I think we kind of sometimes get put in the same category as, oh, they're just trying to rush me so that they can get their paycheck. No, it's not true. Sometimes when you have been in real estate for the years that we have all been in together, even individually, you start to see these changes in the market. For example, and this is, I know Nancy went through it because her and I discussed it in depth last week. We had buyers that we were they may have thought we were pushy for them to kind of, pick it up a little bit and be more proactive in their home search. And they're like, no, I'm gonna wait or whatever. Or they had other priorities that, may be more important than purchasing their home. And with the interest rates went up, because we had these conversations with our clients in January, maybe even February, and then mid of March, the interest rates went up. So my client that I was working with at the time could afford a $500,000 purchase, no reserve requirements, 10% down, very, cool. Well, come March, the lender calls me. He's like, Ivan, did you tell him to hurry? And I'm like, I did. Did you? And he's like, I sure did. He's like, well, I have bad news. Client X, his new purchase price limit is now $450,000. He has to go 15% down, and he requires 6 months reserve. So these are the things that, as experienced agents, we look out for. And that's, rushing you to get a home is not in our best interest if there's no need to. It was really in their best interest because we could have saved them a lot more money. They could have gotten a better home, and they gave all that up because they thought that maybe we were self-interested in trying to close them before, we did our homework. And no, it's quite the opposite.
100%. And I think some of that also is determined by your price point, right? Where you get pre-approved. Because Ivan and I both have clients that we've been working for 8 months, a year. They're trying to find the right home, and there's absolutely no pressure. They can wait. They just want to wait for the right home. And that's great. We will wait with you. We will wait with you. But when it comes to if you're tied to a certain price point, especially in an area that you're at, like LA, where you can go from 600,000 to looking for a particular area, it's important that you understand that it's not your agent being pushy. It's just your agent telling you you're going to have to think about what's important. For example, that additional bathroom just went down because your interest rate just went up. So your buying power is no longer there. So at 550, you had 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Well, interest rate just went up. So now you might want to consider a 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom, single level, no balcony, and the community, no amenities. So it's all those little things that come into play. And yes, I completely agree. It's not us being pushy. It really is. This is our job. We know what's going to happen. We know what's going on. And it's our job to inform you, because what we don't want to happen is they'd say, well, you didn't tell me anything.
Exactly.
I missed out on this opportunity. So again,
and when we do tell them, we're not telling them to scold you guys or to scold our clients. Because I know sometimes they're like, ugh, like he just wanted to lecture us. No, it's just that we really care. Like Nancy said in the beginning, we're just as excited for that person to purchase either their first home, their investment home, whatever type of property they're looking for. We're just as excited because it's the process that we enjoy. But however, we see all these different factors that will affect that excitement. Well, we try to kind of let you know, and it may sound a little pushy, but it's really not. It's just we are definitely looking out for your best interest, because that's a career path that we chose, and that's what we do here at Landon Realty Group.
Exactly. Do we have another slide, Nicolette? Maybe.
Oh, maybe not.
Sorry, that was a long silence.
Okay. Is that it?
I think that's it. Just to kind of tie it all together, real estate is a wonderful career choice. I would encourage anybody that wants to be a realtor to check out our website, to call one of us and see if we are the right brokerage for you. It is just as difficult, but it's just as beautiful. The process entirely. You have to want to do this. You have to love to do this. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to choose another career for another 1,000 years. You, Ivan?
No, not at all. Actually, if they told me, before, Ivan, what do you want to be when you grow up? I was like, I want to be, a lawyer. Looking back, I think if I was to go back as a kid with my mind, I'd be like, no, I want to be a real estate agent. I want to be a real estate salesperson in the state of California.
Mhm.
So
we are like lawyers. Sometimes we are like attorneys. So,
yeah.
Well, and
so then I'm living the best of both worlds now.
Really. And what I love about this is that we really are, it is a small business. We are our own boss. We are entrepreneurs. We're in charge of our destiny. And I think that gives us so much freedom. But we probably, if you want to meet your goals, you've got to, work long days. And I love that we're constantly learning, and it's just new and fresh all the time. So it is a great, I'm constantly kicking myself that I didn't start this earlier, I have to say.
Bring us home, man, with our last slides.
So at this time, we want to thank all of you for joining us. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Landon Realty Group, and our Spotify podcast, Keeping It Real Estate.